Everyone, Christy again, owner and founder of Sage House Apothecary. I am continuing on with this Allin challenge for the month of September. It will probably continue moving forward. Um, I don't even know what I want to use this time for. I said that I was going to commit to doing a video every week. I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday because I was running a 5K for work, but I'm here. I can share my story of Sage House Apothecary. So, yeah, that's what I'll do. I was going to talk about something that I've been kind of dealing with, being a recovering people pleaser and how that undermines our own power, but maybe I'll do that another time. It's just hitting home right now. And even like I feel like now that I'm older and maturing, I'm starting to figure some of those things out that I did not figure out the younger version of me didn't figure out. But anyway, I will share about Sage House Apothecary and why I created it and what it is, because this is the Sage House Apothecary channel. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I put a call of action out. I cannot go live until I get 50 subscribers. Not that there's going to be a lot of people joining my lives in the beginning, but I did want to have the option to go live if I wanted to. But I'll just share my story of why I started Sage House Apothecary and how I started it, which is, the how is, I'm still figuring all that out because, business acumen isn't necessarily my first talent or skill. It's something that I'm learning. And I may have mentioned, but I'm running my business as I'm working full time. So I work full time in public health at a local hospital. And thankfully, I'm able to work remotely most of the time. And so like my evenings and weekends are very focused on Sage House Apothecary. So um I if you all want me to share with you like my how I got it started and going through the process of the LLC and all of that stuff, I can. I'm still figuring things out just so that you are aware. Um, but so I think I might have mentioned to you all. So my son, who was born in New York City, I used to live there in another life because I used to dance professionally. But my son was born in New York, and I had him when I was 25. And when he was born with eczema. And this is my story. I don't have any fancy edits or anything yet. When I have the time, I will make sure to do that. But so this is story time essentially. So my son was born with eczema, and I took him to the pediatrician because I could tell he was very uncomfortable, and he was just cranky and crying and irritated. His skin was inflamed. Pediatrician suggested that I put him on steroids, and I did not feel comfortable, even being that I was 25. I did not feel comfortable putting my newborn baby on steroids. I'm like, he's a baby. And of course, as I'm thinking steroids, I'm thinking of weightlifters, and I'm thinking of the chemicals, and I'm thinking of, why would I want to put my baby on something like this? So the doctor was saying what he could do. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to figure this out. I will figure something else out for him. And so what I did is I went to his baby products to see like his powders, his lotions, his creams, his soaps, and looked at the ingredient list and was trying to check to see like what could be possibly irritating him. And I apologize again, allergies, but I'm drinking a tea that has been helpful. And actually, at the end of this month, I'm going to talk about this tea time with Christy, or maybe it's tea with Christy. I don't know. You all let me know. But this tea has actually been helping. So I decided to, after reading all the ingredients, and I did not understand what they were, what they did to the skin, how they're supposed to help. So I tossed everything out. This was actually right around the time when the internet was becoming a thing, but you had to wait about like 20 minutes for the page to open up. So it wasn't used regularly. The internet wasn't used regularly. It was kind of just used as like a resource. So I went to the library and and I apologize, I'm gonna have to blow my nose. 1 second. So I went to the library and decided to do some research on natural remedies for skin and healing the skin. And, I looked up all sorts of things. I don't even remember specifically what I looked up. So I gathered a lot of information, was looking at herbs. I found that herbs could be a really great way to heal the skin and to heal the body. And so I just got into this huge rabbit hole. I started falling down this rabbit hole of discovering alternative ways to heal. And so I came across calendula. Calendula was a flower that is really great for healing the skin. It's really great for people with eczema and psoriasis. And so I just found some recipes, I think in the library or something, and I made all of his baby products. I made everything. I made his skin creams, I made his soap, everything was all natural. I had no colors, no scents, no artificial fragrances, nothing. Everything was all natural. And so I started using these products on him. And of course, I have very limited knowledge on what I'm doing. I'm just kind of figuring things out as a new mother and very desperate to help my child be comfortable. Um, so I'm making his products and using them on him, and it worked. It worked. And, you know, he had no more problems with eczema. I remember the doctor, I took him to, have his doctor checkup, and the doctor asked, what did you do or what's going on? I said, I tossed everything out and I started making his own products. So these are all natural. This is, herbal, made with herbs. I think I even infused the oils and stuff to make the creams for him. But I told the doctor, I said, I made everything. Everything's all natural. There's no coloring. There's no artificial fragrance. Everything is all natural. And the doctor's like, hmm. So that was the point where I realized there is something to this. There is something to utilizing the power of herbs. And so it's just been something that stuck with me. So from that period of time, I just started investigating and trying different things. I've never really been a person that's been great with taking pills and stuff. And I think intuitively just didn't like the feeling of having to take medicine, especially if I couldn't pronounce the names on the back of the ingredient list. So I've always found different ways of treating myself naturally. So if I was sick or if I started to feel anything like I was getting a cold or catching something, I would eat a clove of raw garlic and then chase it down with some orange juice. And that was the remedy that I used probably. I mean, I still do it now, but I'd say for a good portion, like from the time that my son was born, he's now 23. From the time that he was born up until now, that's still a remedy that I use. And my kids have grown up seeing me do that, and they've gotten accustomed to taking raw garlic. I don't know if my daughter does now. My son has his own little remedies. But yeah, so that was me, again, 23 years ago, me creating products for my son to help with his eczema is how my interest in herbs started. So from that point on, I just fell in love with herbs, and I wanted to learn more about how they could help me, how they could help other people. And I wanted to be able to, provide that support for other people who may have been in the same situation as me. So I enrolled into a school, um, Clayton College of Natural Health. Oh my gosh, this was like back in the late 90s. Yeah, no, this was early 2000s. And this was before online classes were a thing. So I was shipped a binder that was about this big with all of my classwork, all of my exams, all of my tests. And I just studied, and it took me a very long time to complete. And I think I had maybe one more class left. Um, but then that's another story. I did not finish the course because someone talked me out of it. But it took me about 8 years to go through the course, and 8 years, it took that long because I was going through a very, very difficult marriage. And I could talk about that too if you all want me to in another video. I mentioned that I'm writing a book, and the book is talking about all of that, which, talking about everything that I went through to get to this point. So, going back to Sage House. So, um, I've always had this desire to help people and to create a space of wellness where people could just come and get reprieve and get healing, get support. Um, and I wanted to create that space. I remember in the early 2000s, I wrote out this plan of this wellness center that I wanted to have, what it would look like, who I had hoped to fund it. And that was just something that has always been in my heart. But I became a single parent, and I had to, do what I had to do to make ends meet. So me following that desire was not in the plan. So I just put it to the side. But it's always been in the back of my head. It's always just been in my heart and sitting there. And so this was maybe 3 years ago, because I would make products, I would make things for myself. Sometimes for Christmas gifts, I would make things for people. But for my birthday, maybe 3 years ago, I had really been thinking about it heavily, thinking about starting a online store, thinking about, of course, looking at multiple streams of income because that's important these days. So I decided that I was going to start my shop, my store. And I wanted to have crystals. I wanted to have like all sorts of stuff, spirituality things too. So it was going to be spiritual tools, with herbs and all of that. And I had the means to do it at that time. I also had the time to do it. This was around COVID. So everyone's in the house, and I poured in, I don't even want to tell you how much money I spent investing in my business, which, is fine. I'm still investing in my business, but I poured in so much money into my business to start it. I got the inventory. I found a wholesaler that I could work with, got my inventory together, started my shop, got the website, decided what products I wanted to make and sell online, and open up the shop. And I was just waiting for people to buy. And I got a couple of sales. I think when I first launched, because I have a pretty nice following, and these, when I say following, people online, social media that are friends or people who have become like friends and family from being connected on social media, they all supported me. And so I did pretty well for my launch. But then it kind of dwindled down. Then I had all of this inventory of stuff that I purchased that I just knew everybody would love, but no one purchased. I would share about it online. I would go on live on occasion. I didn't do that a whole bunch. Um, but I realized that I had to scale things down a bit until I could get a good foundation, and then I could start incorporating different products and adding more things to the shop. Um, so the online store, my online shop is still there. I do need to update my website. I want to update my website. I'm still waiting to get that done. But that's kind of how Sage House started. So I got the LLC. I've been working, I'm sorry, that's Brantley, stop. I Whisper bark. I got my LLC, working with my attorney, and started my business. And I absolutely love doing what I'm doing. I love Sage House. I really do. I've been recently shifting some things, trying to see what's going to work out. Of course, doing these videos on YouTube, starting my YouTube page for Sage House Apothecary. See all the stuff that I've been prepping, and I've had some orders. I have a store here in Chicago that wants to sell my products, so I've been working on that order. But that's kind of how things started. It all started from me helping my son and helping to heal his skin of eczema. He's 23 now, has no issues with eczema, and actually hasn't had any issues with eczema probably since he was a little bitty thing. So that is the story of Sage House, and that's the story that I share with people of how it all started. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what I'm doing with my business. I really don't. I don't have marketing skills. My business acumen, as I mentioned, I could use some assistance with that. So I've enrolled myself in a business class for like herbalists or for like healers, which I think has been helping. This is actually the school that I went through to get my herbal certification, Land of Verse. Shout out to them. Amazing school, amazing school. I did the community level training. I did the apprentice level training. I did not do clinical because I don't feel like I want to see patients or clients in that way. I want to be able to formulate and develop my own products, having an understanding of the herbs and how they can help, how they can heal, having an understanding of the energetic properties of each herbs and knowing how they help. Like, is this going to add moisture into the skin? Is this going to tonify the skin? Like all of that stuff. So that's why I went through the training, to basically expand my knowledge on herbs and to continue on with the training that I basically ended back in the day, that 8-year training course that I had mentioned that I took. So that's the story of Sage House Apothecary. I do not know what the future holds for Sage House. I'm just going to continue to push through. So for those of you who are a small business and who have no idea what you're doing, like me, and who are trying to figure things out, like me, continue to just stay the course. As long as you are consistent in what you're doing and you are doing everything that you possibly can, just continue. And for me, there is just something in me that will not let me step away from Sage House. There's just, it's just, yeah, there's just something, and I truly enjoy the work. Yesterday I vended at a farmer's market on the west side in Chicago in the heat. Didn't make a ton of sales, but it's allowing me to get the word out. It's allowing me to work on my elevator pitch, which I actually recently just changed. So I'm going to share that with you all. I haven't really shared with too many people here, and I do need to add it onto my website too. But I'm trying and seeing what I can do. I'm overall what I'm looking, or how I'm looking at Sage House Apothecary, is kind of like the wellness umbrella that houses my Reiki services, that houses my sound healer services, that houses my crystal healing, which is kind of combined with my Reiki. But with everything that I do, Sage House is a place of wellness. And it's interesting because writing out the plan that I had all those years ago, the dream that I had of this wellness center, it's actually here, although it looks a little bit different. It's more like online and virtual and seeing clients with Reiki. So I want to share with you my new kind of like I guess this is my elevator pitch. I don't know. And I have no idea what I'm doing. Um, Even after 3 or 4 years. But again, I'm doing this part-time as I'm working full-time. But I wanted to share with you what I came up with. And this is, again, this is my story of Sage House Apothecary. One of the things that I do have to add on my website is an about page. I met with someone, she was like, yeah, you need to put an about page, put a picture of yourself, why you started it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. But again, I'm figuring things out as I go, and that's kind of the nature of this stuff. But again, if there's anything that would be helpful for me to talk about and to share my story and to share what worked, and well, I'm still trying to figure that out. But if there's anything that I can share to help, I'm happy to do that because sharing is caring. And honestly, that's what these YouTube channels are. We are sharing, talking about information that perhaps those who are watching it will find value out of it. And that's what we do. All right, so I'm going to read it. I have my cell phone here with the notes because I don't have this memorized. And at some point, I'm going to have it memorized. So I'm just going to read this to you all. You all let me know what you think. So Sage House Apothecary offers a range of handmade Reiki-charged herbal products designed to promote self-care and intentional living. So I Reiki-charge all of my products. Our services focus on nurturing both mind and body using natural ingredients and holistic practices to enhance your well-being. At Sage House Apothecary, we believe in wellness with intention, infusing every product with positive energy to support your journey toward a balanced and healthy lifestyle. What do you think? So, and that's another thing. I'm putting my phone up. This is another thing with Sage House. I do spiritual work, and I mentioned that I'm an intuitive healer, and that ties into my Reiki work. And I also incorporate like charging my products. I have some of my shea butter sitting on a selenite charging plate after Reiki charging it. But again, so I want to incorporate like a spiritual aspect to my products, which is why I say intention, wellness with intention. Um, but I also want to make sure that it's still available to the wider audience that may just want to use the products just because they like them. So that's something that I've been kind of teetering with because I don't want to scare people away. Um, and I don't want to, like, I've made a protection oil for myself, but I don't sell it. Maybe at some point I will, but I don't sell it. I do have like a love intention oil. I have a peace intention oil. Again, I feel like for mainstream, it's right there at a point where it's like, I think this is enough, like woo woo for people. And I hate that term anyway. But I do add a spiritual component to, like Sage House does have a spiritual component to the products. And of course, that is my intention, but it's not overly outwardly expressed. So, but yeah, that's my story. Sage House Apothecary, why I started it. I remember there was an evening where I did plant medicine, ayahuasca, and that was the evening Mama Ayahuasca helped me birth through Sage House because I was fighting it. I didn't want to do it because I was scared. Of course, I was just, yeah, fear um, kept me from moving forward. And that's something I could talk about too, because I decided when I was 30, if there's something that scares me, I'm going to do it because on the other side of fear is freedom. And that's another book that I want to write. But anyway, there is so much to be said when you conquer your fears. And so I was fighting it. And that particular evening when I was doing ayahuasca and working with Mama Ayahuasca, who has this wisdom, which is beyond anything that I could have ever imagined having access to. Um, Mama Ayahuasca helped me through that process of birthing Sage House Apothecary. So that was a very interesting evening. Um, again, the spirituality component of Sage House is very alive and well. It's just not outwardly expressed because I don't want to scare people away. And that will probably change over time too. So that's the story of Sage House Apothecary. You all let me know if there is anything else you would like for me to share. Also the All In challenge, we had our first, actually now we'll switch to events. What's happening? Activities and events under Sage House Apothecary. So the All-In challenge, which I mentioned to you earlier in this video, I said that I was going to do it for the month of September. We had our first meeting last Sunday. We have our next meeting in just a couple of hours. I have to admit, I had no idea what to expect. The only thing I expected was to not expect anything. So I intuitively just turned the camera on, welcomed everyone, and just allowed things to flow. And I cannot tell you how amazing our first meeting was. We ended up talking for about an hour and a half. And we could have gone longer. We probably could have gone for 2 hours. I was like, I have to go. I got things I have to do. But it was such a wonderful gathering, an intimate gathering of women who are wanting to wake up that greater version of themselves, who want to embody that essence, who want to conquer their fears, who want to get shit done, who's tired of procrastinating, who's tired of letting fear keep them from progressing forward. And so we had some really real conversations. We each shared why we came, why we're here, participating in the group. I want to finish my book. And I thought we were going to come and like, okay, so what's a goal that you want to accomplish? We're going to accomplish this goal. We're going to do this. And no, it was more so really just creating this space of support. We are each holding space for each other. It's amazing the amount of stress that we are carrying as women, Black women. And there's not really a space where we can talk about it. And there's not really a space where we can share that how it's bothering us or how it's impacting us mentally, physically, emotionally. So that's kind of how the first meeting was, which was, oh, chef's kiss. I was so proud. I was so, so, so proud of that first meeting. So we'll see what today's meeting is. So that's happening Sundays at 10 o'clock. If you're interested, just let me know. The link is in my Stan store, so you can find it there. It's $1 to join. And I have a sound bath that's coming up if you're local in Chicago, I have a sound bath that's coming up in Chicago at the LaSalle Hotel. The date is, I want to say September 23rd or September 30th. I will tell you in a moment. It is, I think it's September 30th. Why is it not on my calendar? It's on Eventbrite and it's it's Monday, September 30th. It is on Eventbrite. Early bird prices are available now for $30. I'm not sure after which date, but after a certain date, the ticket prices will go up to $35. But so that sound bath is held at LaSalle Hotel. Then I have another sound bath with my with a friend of mine that's taking place on Sunday, October the 27th. Again, this is if you're in Chicago, October 27th at the InterContinental Hotel. It will be in their pool, which is freaking amazing. That pool was designed or built in the 1920s. It's mosaic tile. It's just, oh, that's beautiful. So that will be interesting. And we have to delete that. What else is happening? My Reiki certification training for level 1 and 2, I am planning on having another one. It was scheduled for November 8th through the 10th. I don't know that's happening. I only have one student, and she's actually a carryover student that was supposed to participate in the August training, but she couldn't, so I moved her to November, but I'm thinking I'm just going to cross out November unless I get some students. So if you all are interested in getting certified in Reiki, if you all are interested or feel called to serve in that way, you're um you are passionate or interested in learning how to work with energy, then this is definitely a really good training. And the certification is more of a retreat, like it's a workshop. There's a lot of healing that takes place. There's a lot of discussion that takes place. There's a lot of transformation that takes place in the training. It's even that made me just so proud. But yeah, that is it. So I'm going to end the video here. Please be sure to subscribe on YouTube, hit that like button. If you like this video, please hit like, because you know the algorithm, what does that mean anyway? But if you all can just drop a comment, let me know if there's anything else that you all would like for me to talk about. I'd be happy to talk about it. I can, yeah, let me know what you want to talk about. Like, subscribe, go to my Instagram page, my personal Instagram page, Christy R. Edwards. Please follow me there and like. Go to Sage House Apothecary on Instagram. Go there and like. I'm also on TikTok, but everything will be in the description box. So I really thank you for taking the time to listen to this video as I rambled and as I talked about stuff. But you know what? I said that I'm going to be committed to doing this. And so I am committing to doing a video every single week. Also next week, I will be, and I don't even know if I guess I can make a video about this, but next week, the hibiscus extract that I recorded, I believe the week before, the extract will be ready. So I'm going to pour it out, and maybe I'll record that, and we can also do like a chat and do some herbal work or something. So again, let me know what you're interested in hearing about. I'm also going to do a video about the different healing properties of herbs, just so that we can talk about it and you all can start to build your vocabulary. If you're interested in working with herbs, you can just start having that basic knowledge, because I think it's really important. So, and I think I'll do a video on that. And then I think I'll also do a video on discussing the energetics of herbs too. So stay tuned, more to come, but thank you again for watching. Again, Christy from Sage House Apothecary. I am the chief herbalist, owner, and founder. Thank you so much, and blessings. Again, Sage House Apothecary is where wellness, wait, what is it? Sage House Apothecary, we are focused on wellness with intention. There you go. Take care. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.